Alright guys, we're here for round 3, after a pretty crushing defeat in round 2. This hand is super sketch, but any third land is great, which I think we can draw in the first 3 turns. Yeah, close to that. We don't actually have green mana, but what we're looking to do is Touch of the Void the first couple plays and maybe Sky Spawner in there. So I'm going to risk it for the third land. Obviously, Forest would make this great, but we may not get a Forest. Sure, that's fine. I'm going to actually lead with this Cascade. Doesn't have any targets, but get our tap land down while we're not playing anything. And 2 drop. Cutthroat is great, but also a good card to exile. So Forest, that's awesome. Gives me something to do here. I don't think Beast Caller is actually that great. I mean, he's good for fixing, but the haste is like not super relevant all the time. So I'd be fine even making this trade, really, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not this early. Is that a second Cutthroat? Well, look at my opponent just getting all the things that he wants. I'm going to start exiling those, though. They account for a good bit of damage over the course of a game, so I'm going to get rid of 1 immediately. And we'll stop to think about the next one. It's kind of a build-around card. You can just start throwing Eldrazi Scions down and sacking them to deal tons of damage. Not really what I want to Touch of the Void, but I'm willing to make that trade. I'm not going to Touch Avoid the other one yet. So if I play Sky Spawner, I start getting in for 2 damage next turn. If I play Nettle Drone, I get in for 1 damage, assuming I'm not attacking with it. So I'm going to lead with Sky Spawner, I believe. And next turn, with my Beast Caller, I can actually play Unnatural Aggression plus Nettle Drone, or Touch of the Void plus Nettle Drone. Let's see what my opponent plays first. Oh, missed at 5th land. Opponents have been doing that a lot lately. So, ooh, Stone Fury's fine. I don't have the second red to play it yet. So I could Touch of the Void. I don't think I want to yet. Hope my opponent's not setting up like Planar Outburst or something like that. If you want to trade for my Scion, you go right on ahead, but I don't think you will. Alright, that would be actually just devastating if my opponent Planar Outburst me. So we're going to play into it. I'm not going to play around a rare I haven't seen. So Nettle Drone, and I'm going to pass. It's a little awkward. Unnatural Aggression. All my creatures are 1 toughness, so it's just a fair trade. Alright, Culling Drone. I'm okay with that right now. Blister Pod's good. It's also a fine target for Unnatural Aggression, so I'm going to play it out. Let me do this correctly. Alright, we will attack with Sky Spawner. Yeah, just the Sky Spawner. And maybe opponent's end phase will Blister Pod his Cutthroat with Unnatural Aggression. And if he just doesn't do anything, we could also follow up with Touch of the Void on Culling Drone and attack for lots. Well, now I can double block. Maybe he's holding back cards because he needs something exiled. But we'll make this trade. The Scion replaces itself, so I'm basically trading Blister Pod for your 2/2. Favorable for my opponent, but Nothing else is happening. And anything else, I might... Oh. Alright, that's getting Touch of the Void. There were a ton of these at the table. My last opponent had, what, 3 of them? So... kind of sucks I can't favorably unnatural aggression anything, but I will go ahead and deal with your thing. Oh, but I wanted to tap my Nettle Drone. Why did it not let me tap? Alright, drawing red here would be great. That's fine too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not enough to do both, but we get in for a lot of damage this way. 4, 5, 6, 7 damage this turn. And I think that's more important than trying to save Touch of the Void to hit him. Next turn we can add Giant Mantis to the board. Probably bring him down to... I must have miscounted at some point. That or I had already... I'd counted the extra damage off Nettle Drone after it happened. Alright, so again, not the worst. We still get in for more damage next turn. Put him down to a very comfortable life total for us. And we get to anticipate, which I think I'm kind of looking at anticipating into a land here. I don't know. I don't really... I'm going to use this to cast my Giant Mantis and just attack for 2 so that I can hold up anticipate. Alright, put him down to 6. My clock doesn't really change by attacking with this font. It's still 3 turns. My clock does, however, change with Giant Mantis. No, it doesn't. It's still 2 more turns. Yeah, I lied. I mean, my clock would have been a little different, but I don't think this 1/1's getting in for any more. This guy again. So let's anticipate into something that deals with it. Like Clutch of Currents. And drawing a land here would just be 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, drawing a land here would be game. Well, that's not a land. But I'm still going to Awaken with Clutch of Currents. It means if he has Planar Outburst, he can't deal with the man land. Bounce. And animate this island. Yeah, drawing a land there would have given me another attacker, but yeah, so I don't think my opponent has any outs here. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just don't see it happening, especially not at 1 life. I could just top deck another Touch of the Void for the win. Alright, so they were looking at their next draw phase. Let's see what we got against Black-Whites. The only thing that really worries me are those Zeraport, whatever they're called. Boiling Earth is probably coming in. It deals with those guys. And anything else very good against him? Invoker, again, alright. I feel like I could Goblin Warpaint. This just doesn't seem like the deck for Goblin Warpaint. Maybe in a 2-color deck I can see it being fine. Vile Aggregate actually seems decent in this matchup. The Sentinel is not impressive, but it's still fine. Coral Helm Guides, decent. I'm going to cut the Sentinel for the Boiling Earth, and we will go back into this facing a wonky version of the same deck we just faced. Alright, so this is bad, but I'm going to keep And hope I draw a red source so that I can do something on the way to this Clutch Occurrence. Oh no. Well, that immediately makes my hand look much worse. So does drawing this 6-drop. So Forest, Skyline, Cascade will mitigate a little bit of damage. I might just have to fire off this Clutch. Opponent's got kind of an okay number of allies in his deck too. Yeah, that's what I had a feel. I had a feeling this guy was going to come down this match. I think I'm going to be too far behind to win this game by the time anything gets going, unless I hit red source. Oh wow, that's awful. That's legitimately awful. Need red source next turn, otherwise I'm just clutching something random. And even that's not good because he gets another trigger off this thing. Stone Fury, probably the worst possible card we could have drawn there. That gives me something to do. I'm still getting ambitious with this Clutch Occurrence. But I'll probably just trade this, or look to trade this Orin Reef off for a Coaling Drone. There's no way he attacks with this turn. Could just kill it. Alright. Losing lots and lots of health. Yep. Even trades are favorable for him. Boiling Earth would... No, that would be a terrible draw because I don't have red mana. Anticipate? More blue land. Nope. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 8. All of his guys are allies. Rising Miasma would be good in this matchup, but I don't have that card. I think we'd be a lot better off if we had hit red mana on the way, but we did not. And if he just plays another creature here, I don't see how we can win. Maybe that gives me a chance. We're gonna clutch this and take another 4. Just replays it next turn. Do have Drowner of Hope next turn. Stasis Snare. How bad is that? Very. It sets me back a land. I don't think Stasis Snare is enough for me to want to bring in Reclaiming Vines. I think Reclaiming Vines is sorcery too. Alright, we just dead. Did I animate my forest? That was dumb. Alright. Opponent just got super aggro on me. I kept a dumb hand, but my opponent's draw was very good against my draw. Kozilek Sentinel actually seems good again. And this is renewal. The mana or the life gain could be relevant. It could be. These blockers are good against what he's doing. I like my cards, I just don't know what to cut. Yeah, I'll cut a Vile No, I mean Vile Aggregate, if I have the red mana, like, it's just better to take damage for a turn and then play Sentinel. So I'm gonna keep, still have the Boiling Earth in my deck. I will play and hope for a good opener. Boiling Earth and Incubator Drone and Touch of the Void. This is much better than the last keep, although it has no green mana. And we have lots of green cards, so it could just suck for us, but Boiling Earth ought to be pretty good. Opponent Mulligan's down to 6. I don't think I'm ever awakening this for 7. Alright, if I draw a forest in the next couple turns, that'll be great. If not, I hope he just plays like a Zulaport guy and I Touch of the Void it. He might have March of the Tomb in his deck. I think we opened that. And I think I do Touch of the Void this just so that I'm doing something this turn, unless I draw a forest. Well, I'm going to do that instead, actually. And I'll let Colin Drone hit me. Go get my forest. So next turn I get to make a 3/4, or, well, either creature I play makes a 3/4, technically. I will take this hit. Hopefully you ingest a land or something we don't need. Anticipate. I guess that's fine. Carrier Thrall can get exiled? Yes. Yes, it can. Ooh, Vile Aggregate's good here, too. So we've got a good couple of turns. I don't know that I want to do that. Maybe I'll just trade Pilgrim's Eye for it, since I can Boiling Earth away the thing he makes off of it. This turn I'm going to go for Vile Aggregate, although Incubator Drone uses my mana better. Yeah, it's probably better to go with the Incubator Drone. Vile Aggregate could attack for 4 next turn. And I would be happy trading Pilgrim's Eye for Carrier Thrall. So let's see what our opponent's got. I like our position so far. Our hand's decent. Alright, that thing. Maybe that'll get exiled instead. Also that thing. Alright, hitting these lands is not terrible. Let's see, if I attack with Incubator Drone, probably double blocks it. Maybe not though. Next turn I get to go 2 things, so this turn Boiling Earth only deals with this 2/1 right now, which is not great. Could attack with the Eldrazi Scion. I'm actually a turn away from being able to Awaken Boiling Earth. So maybe I just want to stay at parity right now. Go and play this guy, he's not getting through anytime soon. Although playing Stalwart 2 seems great. Nah. 3/5's got to be just better than the 3/4. Yeah, next turn if I want to sack my Scion, I could Awaken Boiling Earth. Make a 4/4. The only thing is it only kills off Carrier Thrall, which replaces itself anyway. Alright, well Boiling Earth's looking better now that that's out. My opponent does gain a little bit of life off of it though. But I think that's fine. I could also wait a turn so I don't sack the Scion, and maybe we get something else out of my opponent. I think if I attack with Incubator Drone, I like that he might block with the Thrall. I'm going to attack with this Incubator Drone. See if I can get a creature off of him. Probably don't. No. Oh, I guess I should have considered attacking with Vile Aggregate there. Do I want to Touch of the Void anything yet? Probably want to Touch of the Void this. No, that's just going to die to Touch of the... Or, that's going to die to Boiling Earth. So maybe this. I think I do want to use this turn. This accounts for a good bit of damage. Yeah. Seems fine. Opponent only has 2 cards in hand. And seems kind of stuck on lands. Plus, I'm thinking there is a March of the Tomb in my opponent's deck. And exiling it means that the March of the Tomb gets much worse. Alright, opponent gets to draw cards. That's great that he did that with the Carrier Thrall, so Boiling Earth now kills that Scion. So Boiling Earth is going to put him down to 2 creatures. I'm going to lose 2 life, but my Vile Aggregate becomes a 5/5. Alright, so I will play a red. I will sack my Scion to do this. It seems incredibly good. It makes a 4/4, which he would have to double block. And I get to just attack all in now. I do go to 13, or down to 13. He goes up to 22. But if he doesn't block, he's taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I don't think he can just take 14. Hopefully he doesn't have Gideon's Reproach. And Vile Aggregate has Trample, so there's no way he's blocking there. Show me some chumps. Ooh, that is fantastic for me. No, I'll do 2 and 2, just in case. Ingest, because Vile Aggregate has that. Ghostly Sentinel goes to the Exile Zone. Which actually, no, he had a 5th land, or he just drew his 5th land. I don't know, maybe he alters Reaped into a land. But I think he alters Reaped Sorcery Speed, so I have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage on board. Well, less damage now. So game not over yet. Because my opponent could just slam something huge next turn. That does make it very hard for my opponent to win if I draw a land, though. Because now I'm slamming in for a Trampler. Opponent takes 6 here, down to 6. And see what you got. I'm looking to just hit a land off the top now. If not, I can get in for 5 damage. Alright, opponent's got a blocker. And there we go. I'm going to main phase this ability in case he has Gideon's Reproach. So he can't respond to it with Gideon's Reproach right now. And now it's too late, so if he does have Gideon's Reproach, it's not going to do much for him. The trample here is just assurance that I probably win this game. Alright, awesome. So that went nicely, I think. Yeah, so the second game was very sketch. The open in hand was already risky and I didn't keep it, but the first and third games we got there. So 2-1 again. We haven't 3-0'd yet. I will be looking to 3-0 this set at some point, but I'm kind of happy with how the deck went. The mana wasn't very smooth. In that second game, we were just so far behind the entire game that once we got to the point where we could start throwing bolts at our opponent's creatures, he had a plan for him, and we got blown out twice that game, so it was still a good set. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below what you thought, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'll be putting some up pretty much weekly, maybe 1 or 2 a week until I get bored of this set. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.